Okay, so if you're involved in education at all, you've definitely felt it, right? AI isn't just like a small wave anymore. It feels more like this huge accelerating force changing, well, everything. We've all seen the headlines, the buzz, and maybe, like a lot of people, you just sort of jumped in, took that leap of faith, hoped for the best.
Yeah, and that initial optimism, it was totally understandable. But what we really want to do today is cut through some of that hype. We want to look at what the actual evidence is telling us about AI in learning.
Right.
Think of this as, your shortcut to getting properly informed on this. It's super important, and we've got some surprising facts and really practical insights for you.
Absolutely. Because underneath all this, there's this core tension, isn't there? Our sources really bring it out. Is AI this amazing amplifier for learning, making us genuinely smarter? Or is it just, well, a tempting crutch? Something that might actually make us less engaged?
That's the million-dollar question, really. And to help you figure that out, we're going to walk through the latest research. We'll give you a really clear, practical roadmap for bringing AI in effectively.
Okay.
We'll look at some fascinating real-world examples, case studies, and crucially, we'll give you specific ways to avoid the common traps people fall into.
Okay, sounds good. Let's unpack this then. AI definitely rushed into classrooms, schools, universities. Often, like we said, adopted kind of on faith.
It really did. But what's becoming clearer now, as the research catches up, is that AI can seriously boost learning. It really can.
But there's a but.
There's a big but. It only seems to work that way when it augments, when it adds to active thinking and skilled teaching. You can't just substitute for them. That difference is, well, everything.
And when you say seriously boost, you mean there's actual data behind that?
Oh, yeah, solid data. Get this. A big meta-analysis, March 2025, looked at 29 different experiments. It found AI-enhanced courses had this large average effect size. The G-value was 0.924 on student performance.
Wow, 0.924. What does that mean in real terms?
It means almost a full grade difference compared to the classes that didn't use AI. That's huge. That finding's from Science Direct.
Okay, that's definitely the amplifier side of the coin.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
It really shows the potential, doesn't it? But then let's balance that. There's this quite cautionary study from MIT using EEG scans.
Yeah.
Brain activity.
Yes. The Your Brain on ChatGPT one. I saw that headline.
That's the one. They looked at students writing essays, and the ones who just let the chatbot draft the whole thing, they showed the lowest brain connectivity, not just during the writing, but afterwards too.
Ooh.
It suggests, less cognitive effort, less engagement, and they even called it a lingering cognitive debt that was reported in tech and learning.
That phrase, cognitive debt, that's quite chilling, actually. Makes you think, right? If you lean on it too much, are you actually, forgetting how to do the thinking yourself? It's a real wake-up call.
It is.
So you put those two studies side by side, the big performance boost and this potential cognitive dip. What's the main takeaway for our listeners?
I think the core message, the unifying insight, is that the data really confirms AI works best as that cognitive amplifier, not the crutch.
Okay.
The real trick isn't using AI to avoid thinking. It's using AI to think smarter. So for you, listening, it means consciously thinking about how you interact with AI. Is it making your brain work, or is it letting your brain, take a nap?
That's a really clear way to put it. A workout, not a couch. I like that. So to help make sure it is the amplifier, you mentioned a pathway.
Yeah, we've pulled together this clear, structured approach from the research and guidance. We're calling it the 4-step path. Literacy Evaluate Scale.
Literacy Pilot Evaluate Scale. Okay, break that down for us.
Sure. So first step, AI literacy. This is foundational. Staff, students, everyone needs to understand the basics. What can it do? What are its limits? What about ethics, privacy? And this is where you start teaching basic prompt skills too. How to ask the AI good questions.
Okay.
This usually takes about, say, 4 to 6 weeks to get a baseline.
Makes sense. Then pilot.
Yeah. Step 2, don't try to boil the ocean. Pick one specific area, one module maybe where AI could help, like auto-marking some assignments perhaps.
Okay.
And crucially, you collect baseline data before you start. What does performance look like now? This stage might run for maybe 6 to 8 weeks.
Got it. Then step 3 is evaluate.
Exactly. Yeah. Time to measure the impact. Did it work? You look at pre and post tests, maybe how engaged students were. You can survey people. And really important, compare those results to a control group that didn't use the AI in the pilot.
So the difference was actually the AI.
Precisely. This evaluation phase can be pretty focused, maybe just a couple weeks.
And the final step, scale.
Right. If the pilot showed clear positive results, then you start thinking about rolling it out more widely. But this needs support ongoing training, what we call CPD, and a really clear policies like guardrails. And scaling, well, that's an ongoing process.
And this whole framework, literacy, pilot, evaluate, scale,
Yeah.
it fits with wider guidance, right?
Yeah, it aligns really well with UNESCO's 2024 guidance on generative AI in education. Their message is basically pilot it, measure it, refine it, then think about mainstreaming it. Same idea.
Okay, so that's the theory, the framework. Let's make it real. You mentioned case studies, examples of this augmentation actually happening.
Absolutely. These really show what that amplifier effect looks like in practice.
Great, let's hear them.
Okay, first up. Gradescope at Indiana University, this was in 2024, they had these two massive engineering courses, like over 100 students each. Nightmare to mark, right?
I bet.
So they brought in Gradescope, which uses AI to help with the marking, and the results were pretty impressive. Fewer students dropping out or failing, the DFW rate went down, average grades actually went up.
And presumably faster feedback for students.
Exactly, faster, more consistent feedback. But here's the crucial bit, the why. The instructors didn't just switch on the AI and walk away.
Ah, okay. What did they do?
They actually redesigned their marking rubrics with the AI in mind, and they held specific workshops where students had to reflect on the feedback they got. So human guidance, human interaction was still totally central. That's augmentation.
Right. The AI handled the scale, the speed, but the humans guided the learning from the feedback. Makes sense. What else?
Then there's a really interesting one, avatar robots for kids who can't be in school. This was piloted in Germany and Japan also in 2024.
Avatar robots. Tell me more.
Yeah, things like the AV1 or Oriheim robots are basically telepresence robots.
Okay,
a child who's maybe got a long-term illness or a disability, they can use this robot to be in the classroom remotely. They see, hear, can even speak through it.
Wow. That sounds potentially amazing for inclusion. Did it work?
The qualitative findings were really positive. The kids felt more socially connected, kept up with their studies better. But again, the key wasn't just the robot.
Let me guess, teacher training.
You got it. Success really depended on teachers getting trained on how to manage this, avatar-mediated interaction effectively. The tech opened the door, but pedagogy made it work. That was a key lesson from the research in Frontiers.
Fascinating. Okay, another one.
Sure. Over in the UK, Microsoft Reading Coach rolled out in 2024. This uses generative AI pretty cleverly. It creates adaptive stories tailored to each child's reading level, even focusing on specific phonetic challenges they have.
Personalized reading practice, essentially.
Exactly. And early results were good pilots showed kids progressing towards reading fluency about 25% faster. Plus, teachers saved time on preparing materials.
Any safeguards. With generative AI, you always worry about appropriateness.
Yeah, they built in safeguards to prevent weird or unsuitable content. And importantly, the teacher is still the one who ultimately decides if the child is making progress, not the AI.
Good. Teacher in the loop. Okay, one more.
Let's look at intelligent tutoring systems, or ITS. There was a big meta-review in 2025 looking at 160 studies.
Okay, what did that find overall?
Overall, students using ITS showed gains about 4.2 times greater than control groups. The pooled effect size, G, was 0.68, which is considered medium to large. Pretty significant impact.
Wow. But again, I sense a but coming.
You know it. The strongest results came when two things happened. One, the ITEST content was really tightly aligned with the actual curriculum. Two, teachers actively used the data analytics from the ITEST to personalize their own follow-up teaching.
So the ITEST flags who needs help, and the teacher steps in.
Precisely. The AI provides the data, the insights, but the human teacher acts on it. That finding came from PMC. It's that partnership again.
These examples really drive home that augmentation point. It's not AI or teacher, it's AI and teacher.
Exactly. So how do you actually build that effective partnership? Let's zoom back into our 4 stages and get practical. How do you make sure you're amplifying, not, just making things easier in a bad way?
Okay, stage 1 was build AI literacy. What does that look like on the ground?
Critically, you start with the staff, with the educators. They need proper professional development, CPD. Get them playing with the tools in sandbox sessions.
Safe space to experiment.
Right. Focus on practical stuff, prompt engineering, how to ask good questions. But also the tricky bits, understanding bias in AI, privacy issues, even cognitive load, how much information is too much.
And for the learners?
For learners, the orientation should model metacognitive prompts. Get them thinking about their thinking with AI. Like literally model asking questions such as, okay, what mistake did the AI just make there? Or how could I make that AI response better?
So teaching them to be critical users, not just passive recipients.
Exactly. There are even resources out there, like one called Comprehensive AI Literacy for Adult Learners that offer ready-made slides and reflection journals to help with this.
Okay, useful. Then stage 2, pilot with purpose. What are the key practical tips here?
Be specific. Don't try to fix everything at once. Pick one clear pain point. Maybe feedback on essays is too slow, right? Focus the pilot there.
And the control groups you mentioned.
Absolutely essential. You need a comparison. Run a parallel class or group using the traditional methods. Otherwise, how do you know if any changes are actually due to the AI?
Good point.
And this is often missed, document fidelity. Basically, keep a record of how closely the teachers in the pilot actually followed the plan. Did they use the AI tool as intended? If not, your results might be misleading.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, on to stage 3, evaluate rigorously.
Yeah, this is where you gather the evidence, use a mix of methods, quantitative stuff like pre and post tests, calculating that effect size we talked about, maybe tracking time spent on tasks, numbers, but also qualitative data. Talk to people, run focus groups, ask students and teachers about their workload, their motivation. Did they feel the AI use was fair?
Get the human perspective.
Definitely. And apply an equity lens. This is super important. Don't just look at the average results. Break down the data. Did the AI impact students with special educational needs differently? What about based on gender or socioeconomic background? Ensure it's benefiting everyone, not widening gaps.
Crucial point. Okay, finally, stage 4, scale sustainably. What does that involve practically?
Policy first. You have to update your institutional policies. Draft clear, acceptable use guidelines. What about plagiarism? How is student data handled? Get those standard operating procedures, or SOPs, in place.
Boring but necessary stuff.
Absolutely necessary. Then, keep the professional development going. It's not a one-off. Create communities of practice where teachers can share good prompts, discuss challenges like case clinics.
Learning from each other.
Exactly. And finally, keep refining your analytics. Use those AI dashboards not just to report results, but to proactively flag students who might be struggling early so a human teacher can step in quickly and provide support. Timely human intervention.
It all comes back to that human element, doesn't it? Making sure AI supports, not replaces.
Which brings us right back to that risk we talked about, the cognitive offloading.
Yeah.
That MIT study showing that just using AI for easy mode writing can actually weaken those neural pathways even after you stop using the tool.
Yeah, that's the bit that gives pause. So, for you listening, how do you actively avoid letting AI become that cognitive crutch in your own work or learning? What can you do?
Well, the sources give us some concrete countermeasures. One is prompt scaffolding. Don't just accept the first output. Require yourself or your students to maybe label how the AI generated something, or to critique its output, find its flaws, or even better, use the AI's first draft as a starting point to then regenerate a significantly improved version based on your critical input.
So making interaction with AI an active, critical process.
Exactly. Another tactic, insert no AI checkpoints. Deliberately include tasks where AI use is forbidden, like a traditional essay midway through a module or an oral defense where you have to explain your thinking on the spot. Ensures those core skills are still being practiced.
Right, keeps you honest.
And for educators, teacher modeling is huge. Show students how you use AI critically. Talk through your prompts aloud, question the AI's output, demonstrate that reflective process. Show them what good, engaged AI use looks like.
So thinking about how you, the listener, can apply these. Maybe picking one to try out. Like next time you use an AI tool, consciously try to critique its output before you accept it.
That's a great starting point. Make it an active dialogue, not just dictation.
Okay, looking forward now. Beyond these current practices, what's coming next? What should we be watching for in, say, 2026 and beyond?
Oh, things are moving fast. One exciting area is multimodal intelligent tutoring systems. Think AI that doesn't just read text, but uses computer vision.
So it can. Watch you.
Kind of. It could watch a student attempting to solve a physics problem on a whiteboard, or sketching a biological diagram, or even doing a lab experiment and provide feedback in real time based on what it sees you doing.
Wow, that's a whole other level of personalized feedback. A real game changer, potentially.
Definitely. Another big trend will be federated analytics. This is about privacy. Instead of sending all the learner data to a central cloud for the AI to process, the AI algorithms run directly on the user's device, like their laptop or tablet.
So the data stays local. Much more secure.
Much more secure, yeah. Addresses a lot of privacy concerns. And finally, expect to see a growing emphasis on ethical accreditation.
Like official checks on how responsibly AI is being used.
Exactly. Think something like Ofsted inspections in the UK, but specifically focused on AI use. Auditing institutions against established ethics frameworks, like the one from UNESCO, to ensure AI is being deployed fairly, transparently, and accountably.
That seems inevitable and probably necessary. Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive. The core message seems pretty clear. AI is already making a difference, boosting grades, helping include more learners, saving teacher time.
Right, the potential is definitely being realized in places, and it's the crucial, but it only delivers those goods when it amplifies our thinking, when it augments our abilities, not when it just, numbs the brain.
Amplifies, not anesthetizes. And that pathway you laid out, literacy, pilot, evaluate, scale, seems like the key practical route to getting it right.
Following that kind of structured approach really does seem to position learners, educators, everyone to get the benefits without falling into the cognitive crutch trap. And remember, we've only scratched the surface today. There are whole other areas like AI in special education or using AI in instructional design. It's a vast field.
Absolutely. So as we finish, maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to take away and mull over. Based on everything we've discussed today, how will you personally make sure that AI acts as a powerful amplifier for your own learning, your own critical thinking?
How will you ensure it doesn't become that tempting crutch that maybe dulls your cognitive edge? What's maybe one small action, one single thing you could try this week, perhaps based on one of the strategies we talked about, to consciously use AI as an amplifier